Let me call the House to order. We have a brief agenda here, which we shall be able to follow. We'll start with prayers. The second item is introduction. The third will be communication from the chair. The fourth, consideration of the report of Auditor General, financial year 2018-2019. And then we call it a day. So may I request our clerk to lead us into a short prayer as we start our meeting.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Let us pray. Almighty God, who in your infinite wisdom and providential goodness has appointed the officers of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of humanity, we beseech you to look upon with your abundant favor these your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of such important trusts in this land. Let your blessing descend upon them here assembled, and grant that they may, as in your presence, treat and consider all matters that shall come under their deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the good of those whose interests you have committed to their charge. Amen.
Amen. I request the accounting officer, can you introduce your team? Then we will also do likewise. Accounting officer.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. My name is Asaf Adebua, Accounting Officer, Gulu University, and I have my technical team here with me who will be helping me from time to time where there's need. On the extreme left, my left, I have the Senior Procurement Officer.
I think they can speak for themselves.
Okay,
allow them to introduce themselves.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, honorable members. My name is Adam Odiara Ogora. I'm head of procurement of Gulu University.
Hello. Good morning. I'm called Bayo Paul, the Senior Internal Auditor at Gulu University.
Good morning. My name is Nyeko John, the Acting University Vice at Gulu University.
Good morning. Wesonga Emmanuel, the planner, Gulu University.
Good morning, Chair and honorable members. My name is Safina Nagai. I'm the Director, Human Resources of Gulu University.
Thank you, Gulu University. Request our technical team.
Thank you very much, and honorable members. Good morning, our team from Gulu University. My name is Tumubaza Arnold, Accountant General's Office, attached to this committee.
Good morning, I'm called Justin Kalembe, Senior Research Officer, attached to this committee.
Good morning, I'm William Ruvoa, Assistant Director, Parliamentary Budget Office, and member of the Committee Secretariat. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Judy Ndarushinze, the Senior Editor of the Office of the Auditor General.
Good morning, my name is Christina Cham, Principal Auditor with Office of the Auditor General. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair, honorable members. Good morning, everybody. I'm called Salongo Kunyaweli, Senior Auditor, Office of the Auditor General, and attached to Parliamentary Liaison. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Claire Achan, a technician attached to the committee.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, honorable members and officials from Gulu University. I'm Detective Sergeant Mr. Zanasan, CID officer attached to the committee.
Good morning, Chair and honorable members. I'm Detective Inspector Chamlabi Janat, CID attached to the committee.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Detective Assistant Inspector of Police, Oloch Michael, CID officer attached to this committee.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. My name is Alex Onanyang, Assistant to the Vice Chairperson. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning. My name is Jean Karibi, Technical Assistant attached to the committee.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I am Gilbert Ainomjisha. I'm the clerk to this committee.
Yeah, thank you, technical team. I think on our left hand side there, those who have not introduced themselves are members of the Fourth Estate who have been invited to come and attend the meeting. So can I have honorable members introduce themselves? Start with Honorable James.
Thank you, Chair. Well, Swaka James are my names. I represent the people of Bunyore West from the mighty district of Taleja. I'm a member of this committee, but for recording purposes, I also represent the interest of NRM in the House.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Nawat Rosemary, Member of Parliament, Amudat District.
A very good morning, Chair and honorable colleagues and our guests today. Michael Sime is my name. I'm a Member of Parliament for Mbarara Municipality and a member of this committee.
Thank you, honorable members. My name is Oken Pipi Ujara. I represent the people of Chua West, Kibgum District. Substantively, I'm the Deputy Chair of PAC, but in this meeting I will be the one chairing. So let me take this opportunity to welcome our witness from Gulu University who have come to provide evidence and information regarding the Auditor General report which was produced in Parliament for the financial year 2018-2019. I've seen for the two subsequent years, 2017, 2018, 2018, 2019, the opinion of the Auditor General has been qualified, meaning you have not progressed in terms of your financial performance as a university. And the implication of this is really quite serious. I want the accounting officer to take note. I think the law here says if you get qualified opinion successively for more than 3 years, and they may not allow you to continue as an accounting officer. Take note of that. But we still believe that you will be able to improve on your financial performance, financial management, and other management responsibility that was accorded to you as an accounting officer. I want to also state that for the financial year 2017-2018, we have not been able to complete and retire all your audit queries. We have requested the Auditor General to constitute or institute forensic audit into your account, which I think by now you should have got a letter. If you have not, then the letter is going to come very soon, so that we are able to look into details some of the issues that were raised in the financial year 2017-2018. But given that situation, I think it will not stop us from proceeding. I welcome you. We hope you are also prepared to respond to some of the issues that have been, cited or documented in the Auditor General queries. Honorable Mike Tusime, I always try to, I don't know why the move will come always. Tusime will be our lead counsel into this engagement. So many times we'll be referring to him to make sure to guide us as we move along. But otherwise, you're most welcome, and we hope we should be able to start. Unless you have any observation to make, we could go to one of the reports straight away.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Chair. I want to thank you for welcoming me with my team, and you asked me to take note of the fact that for a vote, once they get a qualified opinion for 3 times, it means a lot for the accounting officer. It may not be renewed. I take note of that. And I also think that your guidance, your comments, your questions all are not intended in any negative way, but rather to improve our lot. We are in Uganda, and we are Ugandans. We work for the development of Uganda. With your guidance, I believe we shall do much better than what we have done.
Very good. Thank you. I also want to remind you that we received a petition from one of you, your staff, the team of concerned staff, we believe so, highlighting quite a number of issues. And the petition came to this committee, and we want to make sure we go deeper and find out before we make conclusions on those petitions. So I think part of the forensic audit will be able to look into the petition. We don't want to form an opinion because somebody has written to us. We also want to go and do our own investigation before we can say, well, this has happened, this has not happened, and will help us to make a good decision. So you are most welcome, and we have to go straight. Honorable Tumisime, would you like to take over from that? Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Mr. Accounting Officer, let's start with page 3 of your financial statements for the year ended June 2019. Now, for the record, I want you to read the very last paragraph before we commence on page 3.
You go to your financial statement. Are you there?
Yes.
Page 3?
Yes.
There's a declaration. I want you to read it for the record. Switch on that thing.
Management.
No. What are you reading?
Financial
the whole of it.
You said financial statement.
Okay. Page 3.
Of your financial statements, not the audit report.
Not the audit report. We are. I'm also still looking for mine. I don't know how you managed to get yours very fast like that. This one here. This one.
You can read that very last paragraph.
Okay.
Signed by Asaf Debois.
Yes. I accept responsibility for the integrity and objectivity of these financial statements, the financial information they contain, and their compliance with the Public Finance Management Act 2015.
Okay. I hope you know the implication of that. And appended is a signature. I hope it's yours.
Yes, it is.
Very good. So let's go to the very first audit query. Now give reference to the audit queries in the audit report. The first one is unexplained variance in revenue collected. Are we there?
Yes.
Okay. Now you may wish to respond.
Yeah. Honorable Chair, in my response I state that the university collected NTR of 8.7 billion within the financial year under review. The 12 billion which is reported in the accounts is a system error. The university endeavored to correct this error, but at the time of preparation of the accounts, the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development had not approved the journal voucher. And we, as the university, are making follow-up to ensure that the journal voucher is approved by the ministry.
You remember the statement you read first?
Yes, I remember.
Now it puts us in a very difficult situation. You are confirming the content of your own accounts. And in this response, you are actually disregarding the content of your own accounts. When you go to your statement of financial performance, that's page 21.
Go to the statement of your financial performance, which is
page 21.
Page 21 of this one here.
You see what you call the NTR, the non-tax revenue. What is the figure there? What is the NTR? That's the figure you collected.
12.8, yeah, 12 billion.
Yes. It is 12 billion. When you go to your cash flow statement on page 24, what is the non-tax revenue? What's the revenue collected?
12 billion.
12 billion. Now, the Auditor General is saying, you say you collected 8 billion, but your financial statements are indicating 12 billion. So we need to know the point of contention. Why are you claiming to have collected less, whereas in your financial statements you are indicating 12 billion? That's the basis of the audit query.
Yeah, Chair, as I said earlier, we are entering now into the technical part of it. I would like to request my technical person to assist me in this.
Okay. He's welcome.
Yeah.
Chair, my account officer was referred to his roles in preparation of this report, and he was guided on the areas that conform to the NTR collected, and I still repeat what he has said, that our annual collection of NTR that year was 8.7 billion. Now, our attempt to make this correction to be done, the university made it. But at the time when we were making this report, the journal vouchers to correct these mistakes was not yet done. Now, Chair, I think you made mention that for the last 2 years, there have been issues with our financial reports.
No, let's restrict ourselves to the question at hand.
Yes,
that
yes,
one you will be given time to comment.
Yes,
about.
Chair.
Let's restrict ourselves.
Yes, Chair. Then you will find these figures here. It is a system generated on IFMIS. Now, when we were basing ourselves on the facts that we had from our records of the 8.7, and that's why the basis was that we should write a journal voucher to correct this. And the team from audit, that's the Auditor General, we engaged them on this. And then their position was that they will stick to the 12 billion because that is they are auditing the system. But our position by then was that what we know as the NTR collected by Gulu University was 8.5. And Chair restricted me that I should only respond to this. But I would wish to explain the challenges that we, as we prepare this, we find in terms of making these reports. But he has
No, if the challenge is to this, but not because you were commenting about qualified and unqualified, which we already noted. But if there is a challenge associated to this, you can go ahead and you explain. There's no problem with that.
Thank you, Chair.
Yeah.
Now, there have been reforms in government, especially in the public universities. Our NTR, apparently, over the last 2 financial years, we don't have the commercial banks account, we collect through AIMS, and AIMS remitted to, actually through URI, and you have to generate a report, the PRN, to enable you make the payment from the system which is called Academic Management Information System. Now, the system should have been able to update our expenditure reform system, which is AIMS, and because the system was still new, and even up to now the system is still new, to a person like me or a person like in Gulu University, and we are finding challenges in capturing this kind of information. Chair, as we talk now, we could not even produce the 6 months account because of the challenges with the system that we are experiencing. So this is area that I think much as we have made a mistake not to reconcile it and we reported it wrongly, but I think we are also learning the system, and the system also, the developer, they are getting to update the system so that it will also improve our efficiency. That is a submission that I wanted to add on why we have these errors, because you will have the records. Now, to correct this record, you need to again involve another stakeholder, which is the Minister of Finance. And in doing so, how many boards will we have? So many boards. And sometimes when you are late in between, we get into a problem like this, which has cost the University Board 149, specifically on how to capture this revenue. This is a submission, Chair, that I wanted to make on the challenges that we face in capturing the NTR at our entity. Thank you.
Yes, yes, go ahead.
Honourable Chair, I found this one very strange. I doubt whether a system can input itself figures. These figures are input by you people. I doubt whether finance inputs these figures for you in the system. And Honourable Chair, if he says the problem is with the system, I don't know, Chair, I think I need, because the officer who made the mess and put the mess to accounting officer to append a signature, his signature is not here, and it is the accounting signature which is here. The person who made the mess is nowhere to be seen. So, may I ask, through you, Honourable Chair, because these accounts were signed 2 months after the expiry of the financial year, did you try to write to Minister of Finance that the system has a problem? And if you wrote, where is the evidence and what was their response? Because, Chair, if you did not write, and when they say we are following up, can we show the evidence of the follow-up? Because the accounting officer explained that they followed up. Can I get a letter from Gulu University received by the ministry complaining about the system, and that letter should be earlier than 30th August. It means by the time you signed, at least you had effort to write that you have a what? A system. Otherwise, when you really bring a letter beyond the 30th, it will not hold because you had already signed. That's why when Otisime told you, he first made you to read that you take responsibility of whatever is here. So, Chair, may I know from the accounting officer whether he wrote to the ministry that we have a problem, and that letter should be by evidence, and if it is earlier than 30th, if it is more than 30th, for you writing, the ministry can respond even after a year. It is not your problem. Can we get evidence, accounting officer, that you wrote to the ministry about this error?
Can you so cause, let's see, then respond to Honorable James's query? Is there evidence that you have written to the ministry that there was a system error?
Chair, unfortunately, I think I did not write, but I sent them physically to meet the technical people in the Ministry of Finance.
How do you make justification of sending somebody physically? Even in terms of cost, you must have generated a loose minute or something so that the basis of the allowance of the person who is traveling is also justified. And we agreed in a financial committee meeting that, this system error should be corrected, and therefore we are sending ABC. Is there any evidence to that effect?
Sometimes when we travel, because we are far, when we travel for one thing, like now we have come for this meeting, we have also to attend to other issues. So we use such and say, please, you are going to this activity, for this activity, please also.
So in other words, you don't have any evidence. You don't have any evidence for.
I don't remember it very well, but maybe there could be.
Mr. Accounting Officer.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of a term called adjusted accounts?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of a term called adjusted accounts?
Adjusted. Oh, adjusted. I have heard.
You have heard?
Yes.
Now, let me take you to page 27.
So in other words, there is no evidence, Honorable James. I think there is absolutely nothing to it.
Chair, I think specifically Gulu University writing to Minister of Finance to correct the 12 billion. I think that letter is not there, but there was a request to Accountant General for university to have a journal voucher, and that letter was looking for it here. I think we might have left it in. We have a copy which was stamped.
Let's go to page 20.
Okay.
27.
Page 27.
Are you there? Yeah. Do you see your statement of appropriation?
Yes, I see.
Now, you go to your NTR. Do you look at what had been approved earlier? Was 8.5. Do you see the revised? Now, I want you to explain to me what a warrant means. Who issues a warrant?
Yeah. When I receive the cash limits, then I do the warrant, or we do the warrant.
Who issues the warrant? What does the warrant mean?
Simple. Who normally issue warrants?
It is the accounting officer.
Which accounting? You warrant yourself. Yes. So you can even warrant yourself 100 million. You're very lucky. I've never known that accounting.
You want help? You want help your accounting officer? That's why you are there. You're a team. By the way, feel free. Feel free. Chair, I hope you invite them to a cup of tea.
Yeah, actually, accounting officer, there is tea, there is coffee, there is water, there is Mbali coffee, I think, somewhere. So feel free, and then, you know, as we move along, we can continue.
So you want to help your accounting officer?
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable. I think the Accountant General issues the warrant.
Now, I want you to help your accounting officer by looking at that page. That the initial budget, the NTR, was 8.5 billion. Later it was revised to 12.8, 12.08. The warrant to that effect was the same amount, and the actual you are reporting was the same amount. Now, I'll also take you to page 39. There is note 7.
Note 7.
It actually explains the breakdown of that NTR. And it arrives, page 39, there is note 7. Are we together? Note 7. It indicates the non-tax revenue and the breakdown of the itemized non-tax revenue. It arrives at the same figure like the actuals in your statement of appropriation and the actuals in your cash flow statement. Now, if you are disputing this figure, it is incumbent upon you, first of all, like Honorable Walswaka had said, to do two things. One, I expected you to have adjusted your accounts. You have no adjusted accounts. Number two, you have no letter disclaiming this fact to the Ministry of Finance. You have signed your accounts as a commitment, and there is no effort showing why there is a variance. So if you put yourself in our shoes, what figure should we take? Based on the advice of the Auditor General, who went to the field to audit your income?
Chair, we will take the figure of 8.7 billion and then we make adjustments on our account.
You know what, this account actually, before being audited, is system generated. The Auditor General doesn't get this account from the blue, just like the way you are assuming. What the figure you are stating is from the blue. And what the Auditor General found out in the IMF system was what he audited, was the 12 billion. And the way NTR is always handled, you know very well that the ministry, the PSST advance for you this money. And they cannot give you the last bit if you have not been able to generate that one to pay back to the treasury. So meaning actually you generated the 12 billion and then you give it back to the treasury. Because this money is always advanced to you before even you collect. So I don't know the basis of your argument of the 8.7. Where do you get that figure from? Yes, where do you get that figure from?
Chair, I think my positions and I think the position of our members here will still remain on the 8.7 billion. Now, because we may not be able...
Now, okay, you guide us. Okay. Now, which document should we use to put your 8.7? You guide this committee. Chair, what I'm saying, just guide us where we can find that figure. Where is the figure here?
Honour Chair.
In the accounts. In the accounts.
Honour Chair.
Yes, Honourable James.
I asked, when the Minister of Finance brings this system you are saying, does it even put for you figures? I wanted an answer. Who put this 12 point something? Was it the ministry or you don't know?
These figures, which we are saying the 12 billion on NTR, and we are saying the 12 billion, these are the figures which came from the system, and we are saying these figures, it is not the figures that reports our collection on NTR. Because for you to realize a revenue or anything, there should have been a basis. And our basis of the 8.7, it is the fees from the students. And now if we are saying it is the 12 billion, where are we going to get these justifications? And why because we did not have the justification of the difference of the 12 billion and the 8 billion. And that's why our response still remains at the 8.7, because that is the basis of how we estimate that we are going to write.
Honour Chair, now that the officers cannot explain the figures and they didn't make any effort to write, accounting officer just sent casually the people to Kampala without evidence. So, Honour Chair, I think this query just remains. Instead of wasting time, we see the remedies. Honour Tusime, just read your books and so the remedies.
Honourable Rosemary.
Mr. Chairman, he did mention something to do with the journal voucher, waiting approval of the Ministry of Finance. Now, if that voucher is approved, will it now answer for the 12 billion? Because in your statement at some point, you said that certain things were not captured because of this voucher journal. When it is approved, will it now capture the 12 billion in question?
Actually, we'll make the adjustments of that NTR from 12 to the 8.7 billion.
Who made for you your trial balance?
Chair and Honorable, this trial balance, they are system generated.
Yes.
Now, if they are system generated, because for me, the interpretation where I'm interpreting this, the 12 billion, the actual NTR to consolidated fund was 6.2. What I'm imagining, what could have happened, it doubles.
My brother, let's go back to the audit query.
Yes, please.
Actually, the audit query does also not tell us. Go back to the audit query. The summarized receipts, first of all, on your own side, from the AIM system, that academic whatever, that platform, indicates receipts of 7.7. Go read the audit query. Don't look at me. Read the audit query.
Okay. Unexplained variance in revenue collected. The summarized student receipts on the AIMS platform indicated total receipts of Uganda shilling 7.787,137,770. However, management disclosed receipts from educational service of 12.08 in the statement of financial statement for performance, reflecting unexplained variance in revenues collected of 4.293. Revenue balances are not fairly stated.
Now, first of all, I want to know the figure we should take. In the very first place, you claim to have collected 8.7. On the AIMS platform, it was 7.7. In the financial statements, it was 12.08. Are we together?
Yes, I'm.
You are using a collection platform to explain what you collected as NTR. On that platform, it is 7.7. The accounting officer is saying they actually collected 8.08. 8.7 billion. In the financial statements, in the statement of appropriation, in the trial balance, in the cash flow statement, you are indicating 12.08 billion. So with the basis of these three figures, what do you expect the committee, which figure should the committee take, especially in the absence of evidence from your side and an effort to the Minister of Finance for adjusted accounts?
8.7.
You don't just take something verbatim. It's like you can now say take 10. Do we just take 10?
Chair, the 8.7, we are saying we have the backing.
Where is the backing?
Where is the backing?
Only that we did not carry this information, Chair.
So how do you expect the committee to know that you have a backing? By you just stating.
Okay, the accounting officer can request and the document
can be arrested now. I'm sorry to say this. For misappropriating 4-point-something billion.
Chair,
I am just making it because I'm disappointed in the fact that you teach statistics in Gulu University, mathematics in Gulu University. You produce master student in mathematics and statistics. Now you cannot even use the statistics that is there credit for you in terms of entry. Now, where do you get the figure of 8.7? You show us where we can get it. Show us in the books here, because we are using this. We are not. This is not written by the committee. We didn't write this document. So where is it that you are using? Which books are you? Show us, give us, and we see how we can reconcile.
Chair,
the 8.7. Where is it?
Chair, the evidence to support the 8.7 billion. At the moment, we cannot give it to members because we did not carry the information.
Why didn't you carry it? And yet, it's actually one of the audit queries.
But we, when given the opportunity, we can be able to give the evidence to the committee. Because
when you are invited to come to a committee of parliament, that is already an opportunity given to you to appear before a committee of parliament. So you must carry all the necessary documents concerning what is at hand, what is in the books of accounts, what is in the report of the auditors. Now you are just walking as if you are going to your garden to go and dig cassava. And what do you expect the committee to do? We are actually stuck. You are making us stuck. In the garden also you go with a hoe to go and dig.
So, Mr. Accounting Officer, you know we need to move on. I'm here grappling with the subsequent audit queries because we must give reference to your financial statements. If you are even expunging this figure, it makes the entire statement defunct. Does it therefore make sense for us to continue? Because you are withdrawing your statements. They are not adjusted statements. What happens? The next query is worse.
I think, Chair, for that, I think I first want to apologize that one, I should say we were excited at seeing this 12 billion because in the past our NTR could not reach that high. Now that it is the system, is the aims collecting, it appeared like yes, if AIMS is the one collecting this, this is marvelous.
No, you see, let me tell you. Let us listen. This aim also, as Honorable James said, is fed by the information from you, estimation from you. You are seeing these as sources of revenue. A number of students that you are expecting who are admitted and that kind of stuff. And these NTRs are always transferred quarterly, on a quarterly basis, I think.
Yes.
So the first transfer, you retire. The second transfer, you retire. The third, you retire until it comes to the end. So which means you actually collected that money. It's not given from the blue, because otherwise then you will be owing the treasury.
You see, it
a lot of money.
Honorable,
you see what I'm saying? So even before you collect your NTR, that money is already released to you from the treasury. That is the law, that's the requirement, the law. So you can't say you are excited. Why are you excited when you are collecting that money?
Yeah, the excitement is that we used not collect that much. It looked like AIMS is now doing a better, maybe we
okay, what we are saying now, you collected that money and you misstated it because it is here. Because if and that's why the warrant was issued, the actual is even there and the variance is 0, which means you actually utilize this money as NTR.
Pegging the amount to the number of students based on what each student pays.
NTR doesn't mean only administrative fees. No, you can even as well generate in other ways. You have structures at the university there who are paying you money. Are you not renting your premise? Are you not renting your premises? So it's not like you're looking at the fees only. But you have other sources of generating this money. Maybe you're also doing farming because the university has land. So I think, these things are connected, honorable members, from number 1 until the end. They are all connected. Appropriation account, cash and cash equivalent, transfer to the treasury, misstatement of employees' cost. Yes, honorable.
Chair, I think we are wasting time on this query. This query should stand. And these people, the leading council will guide us on the penalty, because we can't waste time on this one since they did right.
Chair,
we don't have luxury of time.
Let him make a submission, then we will.
Yeah, so Honour Chair, because the good thing, the accounting officer, religiously, as an honest man, he said sorry. But, he's very honest. People who cross the Nile are usually honest. Now, the accountant looks to be aware and he puts the accounting officer in mess. I know the law says the accounting officer, but this time, Chair, we also include the accountant in this mess of I know the law says the accounting officer should do this, but I recommend, Chair, that even the accountant should be put to task and also be reprimanded, because the accounting officer doesn't know, they just brought him, he signs, knowing that his people have read through. So, no, Chair, I think let our lead council together with you guide us, but I think let this query remain. But my proposal is that instead of reprimanding the accounting officer, we put also the accountant. Yeah.
Then we come back.
Yeah, Honorable Chair, my request was that you allow us time so that I get my team to extract those evidences, compiled, and we submit.
My evidence. Chair, does it include my evidence of writing?
No, the writing, I did not write.
There's nothing.
No, the next time. You don't just do verbal. I know you might have done history, but you write.
Yeah.
It's means of sending people.
You are right, Honorable James. Even the loose minute for them to travel. Because you see, you are going to pay them per diem, or is it out of, I don't know. Is it night? How do you call this?
They call them night allowance one. Even here, I think accountability said, I think you are happy whenever Parker calls you because you pay yourselves per diem. You don't want to clear. You say we come back again. You pay yourselves per diem. I think this might be another way of getting money, so that you don't bring documents when you come and say you bring back, then you get per diem. Chair, we have to interrogate this because I know they know how we shall not answer when you come back. Per diem.
You are escaping.
No, he has a very pertinent issue. The qualification of mayors has become a problem.
Hey.
Yeah, so I've assigned him.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Honorable Rosemary.
Now, in the absence of documentation to go and submit the issue to Ministry of Finance, how did you account for the funds that those officers you sent verbally? How do you account?
Honorable Vice Chair, I said earlier that usually because we are far, when we come for one activity, we combine, we now ask one person who comes like to the Ministry of Education or going to National Council for Higher Education that please also follow this. That's why we don't have a specific.
But why don't you document it? Because you see, those are separate activities.
Yeah.
Why don't you document it as a mission?
It is now, as I said earlier also, that what you are giving me here is all guidance, which I want to take.
How long do you want us to guide you? Because the other time you came, it was guidance. Now today, guidance. The next time, how long do you want us to continue guiding you? For how long? To be honest, you know, this is your work. This is your work, and the law is there to guide you. You don't want, you are at the university. You don't want to read the law. You don't want to read the policy. You don't want to make. I don't know what you teach your students. Or accounting.
Excuse me.
Yes.
I think the accounting officer two claims. I mean, one claim which was mentioning a number of activities. He can still present that one as the evidence that the committee is looking for.
So if you have, you're coming to Kampala on a different activity and you said, you know, also you handle this. That's what Honorable James is in.
Yeah, without evidence.
You have it?
Yes, we can trace.
No, I mean, as what is that you saying?
At least you say you have followed up. But Onoche, he said the journals. I don't know the journals. Honorable will educate me, though it may take time for me to grasp. Now, the journal had not now have the journals been approved? Because we are closing another financial. These journals of yours, have they been approved now?
Not yet.
Honorable Chair, I think we move on, but to inform him of the consequence of this query would be that the accounting officer refunds 4 billion. There's no two ways about it. You must account for that. It will end up being a receivable for the university. It can't be dropped without evidence. So there's no further appeal. So don't even attempt. There's no further appeal. The committee is constrained to make any other.
Chair, not him alone, even the accountant and the auditor. The law says him, but he looks innocent. The people who know the figures are just left.
Thank you, Chair, and honorable members. You know, when the final accounts is being prepared, it involves a number of teams. That is why it first has to be prepared as a draft, both by the technical people in the university, reconciling figures with the accountant general, and then the auditor general comes to confirm those figures. These processes here, you find, as we had noticed, as you will have noticed, what the university budgeted for was 12 billion. But what
the university did not budget for that.
Don't abuse our intelligence.
Yeah, the university budget.
Don't take us there. Are these final accounts?
No, these are. At the moment, they look.
I am asking a question.
Yeah.
The version we have is a draft.
It's a draft. What was looked at was a draft.
Is this a draft? What we have, is it a draft?
It is not, sir.
Please, don't abuse our intelligence.
No, but there is room for realization.
I asked you that question.
Yeah.
I asked the accounting
what
officer.
adjustment is here. He asked that question. No, but members, we need to make, if we want to move, we need to make proposals and motions for this, because otherwise we cannot just continue going and coming back.
Chair, can I make a motion and a proposal?
Yes.
Chair, having been noted that together with his team could not explain the variance in the revenue collected and his failure to notify the ministry about the same, I do propose that the rules of the public, you call it what? Public Finance Management Act, but also not only putting the accounting officer, but the auditor and the accountant should be held responsible also, because they are the ones who misguide the accounting officer. I want to propose and move a motion to that. I move a motion.
Honorable James is seconding the motion.
I have no second.
Honorable James,
we shall second you by actually being more specific.
Yeah, more specific, yeah. With amendment.
Section 78 of the Public Finance Management Act talks about those offenses. And 78.2 says, where it is established that the institution or department did not meet any of the requirements of this act or contravene the act due to negligence, misconduct of a public officer or the institution or the department, the public officer shall be held personally liable in accordance with section 78 and 8 of this act. So this means that where there was misconduct or negligence on your part, you are now being negligent on accountability because there is no evidence provided. We shall identify those who should be held personally liable. The consequence is a remission of 4 billion to the consolidated fund from your own sales. So there is no two ways about it. We shall wait for the chair to make a ruling. If I was the one, I would have given you just a few days provided that evidence. We can't leave a query hanging. Mr. Chairman, I beg to submit.
Honorable members, I will receive guidance and motions from you. And unfortunately, my colleague Alex is just arriving. We have had a serious issue here. Alex, I know you have studied query number 1. Honorable members, when you look at the subsequent items that we are supposed to consider,
excuse here,
is basically on the issue of yes. You want to, I was almost now concluding. You want to say something before?
Yeah, I want to say something in relation to what Honorable Swaka was saying about the auditor. I think we need to be specific which auditor. I don't know, there are external auditors and the internal auditor of the university. I think we need to
when highlighting this one, we need to specify the internal auditor of the university.
Yeah, I think it was meaning the internal auditor.
Yeah, thank you.
Not our auditor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, honorable members, considering all this, and it's basically on the misstatements, revenue collected, misstatements, account, misstatements, consumption of property, misstatements, cash and cash equivalent, misstatements. So it is from number 1 to the end almost. And voice expenditures, all this. And the fact that also we have instituted a forensic audit. I would like to say that we defer all this process. We give the university more time. They should get in touch with the Auditor General's office, work on the required documents, and when you are called maybe around April there, May, you should be able to come with the evidence and good responses. We should not be wasting our time, because I know we are going to continue wasting time here for nothing, and yet we have other things to do. So on the basis of fairness, honorable members, I think we give the university some more time. Let them go and prepare, because the motion given by Honorable Tusime, University Secretary, University Accounting Officer, refunds 4 billion. I think we are going to go for burial, I know, after here.
On the first query.
On the first query. We are going to go for burial. So I think let's give them time, and then with the forensic audit also going on, they will come and have an opportunity to make another presentation.
So it's true, Chair, but how
this
much
time we are giving them until April. Okay. April, they should go and take this matter seriously.
Chair, April,
and to be honest, I don't think.
For which date, Chair?
No, we'll now look at our calendar, because we are the whole thing is congested. We look at the calendar, but April we'll fix them.
But Chair, they can submit the records. You give them a deadline for submitting. For appearing, we can even call them in June. But when you say April, until
I was guided by the clerk that the submission will be in April after they have consulted the Auditor General. Then the appearance can be in May. That's what. So,
but we need to give a date for receiving.
Yeah, this is what I was saying.
You give by this.
Can you guide me?
Otherwise, you just say April.
April, which date in April?
Maybe accounting officer, you choose any date in April.
On the 15th of April, that's what the clerk is saying.
Good.
15th of April, submission of documents. Oh yeah, with the exception of April Fool's Day, because that will be
yeah. But if he gets, he can even bring it tomorrow.
Even before, actually. Yeah. But the deadline is...
And you'll wait for 14th, then you fix it.
So that next time when we meet, we don't have to get stuck. And we'll definitely be able to make decisions there and then in terms of your presentation. So, honorable members, I think we are going to adjourn this meeting in the interest of justice to this university. We'll give them more time to go and make preparation. Other than that, honorable members, thank you very much for your participation. We hope we'll be able to complete this task before us in time. Thank you, and I want to declare this meeting adjourned. Tomorrow we are going to have, Monday, the Minister of ICT. Thank you.
Yes.
The website.
Actually, let me do that.
All of them. All of them.
Yes.